Virtual reality is on the rise and both underrated at the same time. There is mainstream capabilities with MetaQuest 2 reframing their whole selves to just build around this metaverse and Web3 to be the leading factor in this metaverse that's coming around in the near future. Virtual reality though still seems to be under the radar for some reason. To some it can seem still gimmicky, to some it's still not enough motivation for them to want to put on an external headset and be able to get into another reality, or people want to feel that they just don't want to escape their current reality right now, rather they just do other expressions. Quest 2 has made it completely possible and simplified in order for you to just jump into this new realm without having to spend tons of money on equipment. It costs as much as about a Series S and around a Nintendo Switch. This is also a landing mobile gaming device that if you are heavily into gaming in general, Quest 2 can be a great aspect for you to really get into this virtual reality realm. The main beneficial factors of being in virtual reality is that you can really get away. It's a stress relief. You can meditate, you can do fitness, you can game, you can build activities, you can create, you can do crafts, you can do music, and it's still so much of a free-for-all that nobody really understands the boundaries of this realm right now. Some people are getting into digital currencies now, and the Bitcoin and digital real estate and NFTs and more. At the same time, there's no real grasp onto how far this limitless feature can really withhold itself. When you go into the multiverse, when you go into Decentraland, everything from Horizon Worlds to VR chat, this gives us a great example of what is really going on. If you were to jump into a game with VR chat, it tells you in hindsight exactly how the world is going to be, and especially when you look into the movie Ready Player One, everybody knows in that essential that that's exactly what they think the next world's going to be, hence the Oasis and the metaverse and more. Quest 2 has made it very accessible to jump into this realm, and yet there's still not enough people in this community, hence why we are making this video today to really get into this virtual reality. It's hard to very much showcase, which makes it so much of an impossibility to really commercialize it to the next level. Now, I did say prior that it is in mainstream, but it is also underrated. But to really get it commercialized is the actual explanation, the visualization, and the presentation of virtual reality. We put on the headset is not exactly what people are watching, sensing, or feeling themselves, but with us, it's immersive, from the vibrations to the haptics, and to just be moving around and climbing, and really the hand tracking and what you feel and what you see and how closely intensified it is to your face, to where it feels subconsciously that something is really proactively going on. Now, the fact that it does lack presentation is another reason why people don't jump into virtual reality, which I feel is a huge shortcoming all the way up until now. In order to see virtual reality and to understand virtual reality, you literally had to put on the set to really comprehend virtual reality. So this can be a confusing statement as to why people haven't really jumped in yet, because they don't understand the immersion, or could it be the local motion, or somewhat of getting some type of motion sickness at times when you jump into these new devices. It could be just general safety standards that why people do stay away from this. But overall, how immersive and intensified it is, and how much it's elaborated to really feel like an actual another world, another realm, a virtual reality. It could even take it to the next notion, as people now are taking with their tech levels. They're trying to build sense of smell and even more in the hearing and the spatial audio now. Virtual reality tends to continuously take it to the next level. Now we need to figure out the rise of virtual reality and why people should really get involved in virtual reality. Getting involved in VR is a world like no other. When you're in there, it's just so much of escapism, not because you hate your life, but because you can really proactively engage in something that feels so real and it feels so amazing in customization that you can do it all. Now, it is in the early stages, hence why people tend to feel like this is a facade or this is a gimmick, because it still has somewhat of the earlier avatar presentations, but avatars have been upgrading, games have been upgrading from standalone, from actual PC projects all the way to standalone projects. And the graphics alone are really beginning to take it to the next level. VR headsets are planning to get a lot smaller, thinner, and lighter for presentation, and to just be able to utilize them for longevity amounts of time. The question is, when is the time when people will finally try to put on these headsets? And in my opinion, it's going to be when the headsets get a lot smaller or become even more easily accessible to the public's eye. Now, there is a huge niche, and there is people like me who just love virtual reality, that really can't stop talking about it, that really love to communicate our value to you all to understand virtual reality. When you view us in a stream, when you're watching some of my gameplay, you tend to see it in a 2D formation. So now virtual reality does have a 3D essential on top of actual 3D content when people are creating this virtual reality. Here's why you should really get into virtual reality: to express yourself. If you wanted to ever be an artist, it teaches you presentation, it teaches you skills, it teaches you education, it teaches you just meeting others, and they have upped the safety standards now, and they have done a lot to invest in it to really provide that Web3. And we are going near into this future very, very soon. And this is one of the headlining components of owning a Quest 2, into understanding that, wow, this is really where the world's going to be going very, very soon. Augmented reality, we're already very much familiar with, as Snapchat uses a lot of AR filters. Instagram uses these AR filters now to really get in some of these avatars going, and people just utilize Pokemon Go and more, and that also builds an augmented reality. Mixed reality is going to be very much the same way when it comes down to augmented reality and bringing actual physical objects into your virtual heading, or bringing in virtual objects into your realistic room, you know, just throwing on virtual essentials everywhere. This is where virtual reality is going to really master and take it to the next level. And I feel that there's going to be multitudes of ways, possibly could be contacts or more. But the rise of virtual reality is really key right now. And it's actually hitting at a peak, but it's only halfway up. And it's mainstream, but it's still very much underrated at the same time. A free-for-all for content creators, in which I feel a lot of people should be taking a lot more time in virtual reality. There are people out there that say that they don't really have enough skills to share to become some form of an influencer or a content creator or just an online business. But virtual reality can really help you out with all of that. You can become an artist in virtual reality. You can become somebody that creates multitudes of avatars for virtual reality. You can have the digital art. You can do all the Web3 based essentials. You can do marketing in virtual reality. You can do presentations in virtual reality. You can do tons of gaming and coaching in virtual reality, understanding the essence and the nuances of every game that's going around, graphics tiers and setting up and projects and music and hand tracking and just everything. There's literally almost any activity in virtual reality that you can do as a skill to be a Skillshare type of person, individual, and help others, and that can help you launch your content creation. Virtual reality should be seen as a limitless feature that you can share with the world, with what you can embrace in your new reality without it having just to adhere to certain standards in society. So I believe that's why that's that extra reality that we do need, that form of escapism that helps us out get into virtual reality. And therefore Quest 2 has made it very easy, which is why I always preach that virtual reality is why it's the rise, and you should definitely get into it, because while it is rising, it's still very much a free-for-all in terms of what you want to do with it in the near future, and it is coming around very fast, man. Y'all gotta let me know what got you into virtual reality and what made you want to stick to it. Me was just the escapism. I have multiple passions, so what helped me out with virtual reality is that it was all my passions stacked into one. So it's an all-in-one feature that you can get done, like what I said earlier: meditation, games, creativity, music, and more. So that's what really kept me. And on top of that, just building communication and an emotional connection. It looks incredible in virtual reality, and I feel that that is going to take it to the next level for people that are looking for that through flat screens and more in this web-based technology. So y'all gonna let me know what's up, man. Share your VR story in the comment section below, and I do appreciate y'all, man. Hey, y'all have a good one. Peace.